Hey, what's going on, everybody? As people who love to cook, it's a lot of it's about building layers of flavor in pretty much everything that you're cooking. And a lot of times that comes down to your finishing sauces and condiments. And one particular condiment that actually is super versatile and goes on so many different things is pickled red onions. And this is a condiment that I actually have to have in our refrigerator all the time because we use it that much. It's super delicious, very versatile, and it'll often make your dish that much better. It'll make it complete. So let me show you how I make mine. All right, so to make pickled red onions, you need red onion. Imagine that. So my recipe calls for a medium-sized red onion, but realistically, you can use a bit more. Whatever you can fit into a quart ball jar. But the first thing you want to do is you're going to peel and chop your red onion. So let me get this set aside here. We're going to go ahead and just peel it. So the way you chop the onion, it really depends on how you want to serve it. So you can chop it up into tiny little bits if you want to. I like to just kind of slice them into larger pieces so that you can pull them out and top all kinds of stuff with it. But you're just gonna go ahead and slice it very easily. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and move the chopped red onion over into a ball jar here, like so. You're just gonna kind of stuff it all in there pretty easily. All right, I got all of my onion into my jar here, and you don't want to overfill it because we're gonna be putting in the brine, but it'll kind of mush down a little bit, so you can probably fit a little more than you can think. But for pickled red onions, now we also need the pickling brine, so let's make that. All right, let's make our pickling brine. First thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you how to make a real basic pickling brine, but then I'm gonna show you how you can really customize it. So to make the pickling brine, we have a half a cup of vinegar. That's gonna go into a pot, or I'm using a pan so you can see a little bit more easily. And I have a cup of water here. And you can use more vinegar if you want. If you want more of that vinegary flavor, you can add an extra half cup of vinegar, so it'd be like a 1-to-1 ratio. And also have a teaspoon of salt here. And so this is your basic pickling brine. However, you can really customize things at this point. You can add other flavors, like other pickling spices. There's so many different ways to do this. So what I like to do is I'm gonna add a little bit of honey, and you can use sugar. I'm just gonna add about a teaspoon or so, just to add a little bit of sweet factor. And I have a little less than a teaspoon of black peppercorns. And I like a little spicy version of everything. Shocker, I know. It really depends on your flavor profiles, but if you like a little spice factor to your pickled red onions, I'm gonna go ahead and add a spicy chili pepper. This is a Fresno chili. It's not very hot. It's about as hot as a jalapeno, because I'm not trying to go too crazy here. I just want a little bit of heat factor. So I'm gonna add that into my pickling brine here. And you can add other hotter peppers if you want a spicy version, or just skip it all together. It really depends on how you want to use your pickled red onions. You may want to use just the simple pickling solution and just get that delicious pickled red onion flavor on whatever you're serving. But if you like to play around with it, other options are bay leaf is really good here. Szechuan peppercorns are really interesting. There's just so many different interesting possibilities. So now that we have our brine ingredients in here, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this to a quick boil, and then we're gonna turn off the heat and we will continue. All right, I got my boil here. So go ahead and turn off the heat and let it cool enough to kind of handle, and then we will pickle some onions. All right, I've got my brine moved over to something that makes it easier to pour, but go ahead and pour your brine into your red onions here. Oh, making a mess, per usual. Woo. All right, I got a little extra brine here. I'm gonna set that aside, and you can save that for more pickling as needed. But yeah, take a look, got easy pickled red onions. The thing is, you're gonna wanna let this sit for a couple days to let it actually pickle. and that'll develop all that flavor and help preserve and just make those amazing red onions. But luckily, I have actually a jar of pickled red onions. I just made these a few days ago, and you can take a look at this. Oh yeah, don't forget the peppers. Gonna add those in. It's gonna add a nice little spiciness to the overall pickled red onions. All right, let me get the lid on this guy here. Set aside. But yeah, so this is one I just made a few days ago, and you can see the color of it. It's pretty characteristic of what the pickled red onions start to look like. I even made this one a little bit differently from this one, where here I have a couple of bay leaves, and along with black peppercorns, I have some coriander seeds in there. So again, very many ways that you can customize this and make it your own. Yeah, look at that, look at that. Deliciousness right there. It's so good on so many different things. It's awesome on sandwiches, on tacos, any tacos. I love it on fish tacos, beef tacos, shrimp tacos. It doesn't really matter, it's so good. Me and Patty eat a lot of salads for lunch, so it'll add a lot of zing. I can just pop some onto a salad, and it's amazing. Actually, Patty loves it on her very favorite dish, cochinita pibil, which is a Mexican-style pulled pork that is crazy awesome, and I should do a video for that, actually. So, all right, let me give it a taste. All right. Yeah, baby. So, nice and vinegary, nice and crunchy, and so good. Pickled red onions, my friends, so good. I love it, and I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. I'd also love to hear how you change it up and make it your own. But really, I'd love to hear what's the one dish that you can't enjoy without pickled red onions. So, hey, if you guys are looking for another condiment that adds lots of flavor and layers to your dishes, you gotta check out my pepper relish video. I've got information on how you can make hot and sweet pepper relish or a combo. It's so good, and I will cue that up for you. But hey, I hope to see you in the kitchen next time. Mike from Chili Pepper Madness. Bye.